Hello, welcome to another episode of Corner Talk. I'm here today with Adam from Astrogun, and I've really been looking forward to this interview ever since I listened to his music. So we hopefully that everybody else will enjoy his music and the discussion about him personally, how he met his fellow band members on Astrogun, and then discuss and review his music. So I'm looking forward to it. How are you feeling, Adam?
I'm doing well. It's good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So just to say a little bit about us again, my name is Darmin De'flern, and I'm looking at my notes. The original Music Makers and Listeners Corner is the Facebook that both Adam and I are members of, and it's an excellent Facebook group, private group, so you can try and join up if you like. Loads of excellent independent artists and groups there you can listen to, or if you're an independent artist or a semi-independent artist, just breaking out with exactly the type of people that our group is looking for. The admin is Laura Guerra. We've got Keith Eastwood as mod, and TJ Johnson as well, and all contribute to make that one of the best Facebook music groups in Facebook, in my opinion. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I agree. I joined that Facebook group a few months ago, maybe. Actually, it's longer, like maybe in the summer. And yeah, it's actually my favorite group because I've joined like a lot of other groups for music and for independent artists and for ways to promote it, to like encourage each other. And I think it's the best one out of all the groups I've joined. Laura always comments like if you make a post about your music, Laura always is promptly comments, and sort of the other admins. And also I get feedback the most from the other members in that group. So it's very active, and everyone is very encouraging.
Exactly, and you can't post in other groups and you never hear anything. So, or just get the fact that you're getting feedback and people making comments and encouraging you, I think goes a long way for wherever you are. If you're just starting out, or you've got you've been at it in years. I think everybody seems to be getting along together in that group. Just to say that we're going to be on Talk in the Corner podcast, which is the YouTube channel. You should find other interviews there from myself and John Ballistic, the first person I interviewed, will be doing some interviews there. And I recommend you check out Keith Eastwood. Not only a mod, but he's active DJ, and he basically does like a slot where he just plays various people's music. Also, he does some interviews now and again as well. Have you checked out the Talk in the Corner podcast at all? I think you've been on a couple of those DJing sessions, haven't you?
It's in its infancy, so I'm very happy to be one of the first guests. As you said, John Ballistic was first, and now it's going to be me. So yeah, I mean, I think it's great, and it's a great way for artists to talk about their work, and for other artists to just to hear about what everyone else is doing out, and a good place to share what you're doing in the creative world.
So Adam, can you tell me where you and your band are based, and sort of when you was formed?
Yeah, so we're based in Astoria, Queens, and the band was formed before me, so I'm actually not a founding member of the band. I joined the band in 2019, the summer of 2019. So it was started by the current drummer and current lead guitar player. So there's Astrogun on drums and Robbie Thunders on guitar, and we have another guitar player who joined in 2020. Imbric Nocella. But as I mentioned, Astro and Rob have been playing together for a long time. They have been collaborators with music for over a decade. And they formed Astrogun in around 2017, I believe. And yeah, so it kind of like took off quickly, and they had an original bass player, and then he had and then he left the band for reasons I'm not sure, and then that's when I joined. So I joined originally as a bass player, but now I've become like the lyricist in the band, and on the upcoming album, I'm going to be doing the singing on the album.
Okay, so do you still play the bass, or?
Yeah. I'm still a bass player. I guess my role in the band is just
Contribution,
responsibility. So it was just at the time they just had what we're looking for a bass player back in 2019, and they had a singer. We had a singer at the time, but then he left, and it was at a really bad time in which he left because we were like it was right before we were going to record the album Truth and Lies, and then he left and he took all his lyrics with him. And so we were kind of in a bind. It's like, like, what are we going to do here? And so someone had to step in. So I stepped in and rewrote like the lyrics for all the songs. I mean, I had always written lyrics in my own songs for as long as I've been playing guitar and bass. I've always like written songs. I started playing bass and guitar when I was a teenager, so it was always something I liked to do. And I never thought I could like write lyrics for someone else. I never had done that before, so I was actually very hesitant. But it was kind of a thing where like there was an opportunity, and we didn't have a lot of options, and we had spent a lot of time with that singer, putting together like those songs, and then he left, and then we were kind of like, how much longer are we going to like delay this album? So we gave it a shot. Just like I took the I took the guitar parts, and I sat down with the acoustic guitar, and I just started like write stuff, and it actually like worked out better than I thought. So I was like, oh, okay, I actually can take someone's song and write lyrics to it. So that's something I can do. So it worked out, and the rest is history so far.
Sure. So before we sort of, because I wanted to talk about the first album a little bit, I sort of done some homework, because I thought rather than just listen to your kind of stuff, listen to some of the stuff that came before, because often like your albums will show you your progression as a band, where you come from, where you're going to, type of thing. So I thought that was quite important to listen to your earlier band, and I got some comments on some of the. I didn't intend to do it, but I listened to some of the songs on the earlier band, so I wanted to comment on that. I've listened to some on your current album, and I wanted to ask you questions about. Let me have a look at my notes again. You called it Truth and Lies Rectified, which is like your original album is called Truth and Lies, and then you've got another one called Truth and Lies Rectified. So, but before we go into your band, I wanted to sort of go into sort of your sort of musical influences. What type of thing did you listen to? When did you get into music? That type of thing. So, can you tell me, what type of music, when you were aware that you liked music, what type of music you listened to when you was younger?
Yeah, well, I mean, I always felt I was a late bloomer when it came to music. When I was a kid, I didn't like it at all. I didn't like rock music at all. I didn't really like pay attention to music really in general. My father liked classical music, but I never really took to that. But I grew up hearing it a lot. But it wasn't until maybe I was like 13 or 14, I heard the Nirvana album, Nevermind, that classic album, and it just blew me away. It was just like when I heard it, it was just like something like clicked in my head, or something like in my soul clicked. It was like an awakening. It was like it was otherworldly. It was something that I felt emotionally that I never could recapture again in my life. I mean, I listened to other music, other songs, other albums by great bands, and it's come close to that feeling, but it never could like replicate that feeling when I first heard Nirvana for the first time. So I guess that would be like the number one influence that's like permeated my playing throughout these years, even if I don't consciously like think about it, or if I don't really like listen to that style like that much. It's always like, I'm pretty sure it will for the rest of my life. But then like in
sorry, can I just interrupt you 5 seconds because I just want to drill into that. What is there any particular song or songs that really sort of, because sometimes like what you were saying, like Teen Spirit is something that will always sort of resonate with me or whatever. Not so much the lyrics, but how fresh it was, how energetic it was, and everything. But similar to what you were saying, you're in Pour Some Sugar on Me from Def Leppard was something I heard that I thought, wow, I've never heard anything like this before, the sound or anything. And then that led me into listening to the band, the album that it came from, and then that became, part of my sort of musical foundations as a listener type of thing. So I was wondering if there's any type of song like that spoke to you on, that you listened and then you went to the album, or did you listen to your album?
I just listened to the whole album. I just thought the whole thing was just fantastic. Every song I thought was like just really awesome, like just indescribable. Like that first, it was like just one after the other. There wasn't anything that. I mean, you mentioned Teen Spirit, of course, that blew me away. But like all the songs really did. Even like Polly, even like that soft one, that acoustic one, I thought was real. Like it really, like they all spoke to me. It was really amazing. I mean, like that, like it was the whole album that thought was just a brilliant piece of work. So it was the whole thing. It was the whole page for me.
Story I found amusing was, I'm not sure if it's true or not, that the baby in the famous baby in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
That guy tried to sue him for damages later on in life.
But then he failed at that. I think he dropped the lawsuit because it was really stupid to begin with. It was child pornography. It was the farthest thing from the truth. So yeah, it was. I don't know.
Well,
yeah.
I'm not being funny, but if I was part of a legendary album in whatever form, that'd be my claim to fame for my rest of life. I think I'd be quite happy with that.
That was the other thing. He was kind of always like in the news. He popped up. I've heard of him before, him talking about the album and how he has it all tattooed on his chest, the album cover. So he definitely like, I don't know. So like, yeah, maybe he's just a little crazy. I don't know.
It's a good story though. So you got into like, well, it's I don't know. It's like it was classed as new metal and like a grungy type of sound. Did you sort of get into other look for other type of music in that genre then?
Yeah, I mean, like those bands of that era from like '90s grunge. I loved. Alice in Chains. Pearl Jam. Yeah, like all those bands. I was really into. I mean, and then and then I stepped back and looked at what influenced them, like the Beatles and the Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, of course. So I like got into them too. So I was always like into like the classics. I was always into like the guys who were big. I always like the big bands who influenced a lot of people. So like, those bands that I mentioned. I really got into Joy Division for a while. Even the Beach Boys I really like a lot. So it was always from like that standpoint. I always like like kind of like the old school guys, so to speak, who seem to have a lot of influence on people who were just critically very popular and also very critically acclaimed as well.
So I just want to say, when I first heard your music as a band, I heard your latest stuff or whatever, so your latest album, sorry, Truth and Lies. So I heard a couple of the songs, and this is like just like a snap, because when you listen to music, you tend to try and put it in a sort of box, so you know where to put it. Which is not always accurate, but I just thought I would give my first impression, and I thought you were like music that influenced me. Could be like from films, it could be from playing computer games, like you were talking about Alice in Chains earlier on. I was introduced to Alice in Chains from the Grand Theft Auto franchise. One of the songs was on the radio in the car when you were driving around, like, so that's how I got to do music. So your music took me back to my youth with Tony Hawk Skater. Initially, that's the type of music I thought your band was all about, or whatever. It was quite uplifting, high voices, like the way that you use the guitars. And the harmonisation, and that's exactly the type of music I used to enjoy. Going around with my virtual Tony Hawk on my PlayStation. I can't remember what one is. I've had them all. So whatever it when it was on, I've 1, 2, or 3. I played on all of them basically, and that introduced me to that type of very Americana music. I think it's quintessentially American, that type of American sound, to me anyway. So I don't know what you think of that initial impression. Is that type of feedback you get or not? I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that, sure, like what you just said, I think like definitely like rings true to, I guess, our style and like how we like write songs. So yeah, like all of us in the band, like I'm not, we kind of like collaborate together on writing like the music, and we all have like very similar influences. The other guys aren't here, so I would let them speak to specific bands that they like. I don't want to speak for them, but we have very similar like influences, and so like that supports, I guess, what you had said. So like Alice in Chains is like we all love that band, and so it definitely like shows up a lot in the music that.
So I just want to go into then so the first album. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes. Internalization. That's the first album, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So,
okay.
I would say, put a disclaimer, for the first album, I was actually not a part of that album. I joined after the band. So that one came out in 2018.
Okay, because I'm glad I went back to the first album, because if I'd heard your first album, I wouldn't have said what I just said about the music being skate. I find that the tone is quite a lot of it. It's darker. Just to mention a couple of songs, Judgment Day, I thought it was a darker track. Parts of the riffs reminded me of thrash. I don't know if you've ever heard of Creator, but some of the way that the riffs, it's like if you played it at a faster pace with like a more distorted sound, it wouldn't have been sort of, I would have, I would have said, oh, that sounds exactly like a thrash metal type of riff or whatever. I love the initial lead solo on that one, and it's almost like an indie punk rock mix. I thought that of that song. The Sunshine, and this is another thing that the vocals were low. This is what shocked me from listening to your second album first, then your first album. The lead vocals are quite a lot lower.
Yeah.
You got low vocals with harmonization, and I think, like Sunshine, I expected it to be like your second album, but actually it was almost like a gothic overtones or whatever, like. And I'll just finish with Travel Girl, and it's something that I picked up on your next album as well. It's a Travel Girls. You got the lead guitar is following the vocal melody. And it was a great break. That's what I got in my notes on that, right? And I think if I was to say, what is your signature sound from an outsider, and I'll let you talk in a minute, it's the fact that you got this, the production is absolutely superb. You've got the excellent vocals, the harmonization is absolutely brilliant, and you've got this constant lead guitar going all the way through your song, which is unusual. I mean, you might get thrills, but it's very unusual. You've got the lead guitar is present in the verses and the choruses and your bridges, like. And sometimes I noticed that the lead guitar is actually playing the melody that the singer is singing as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you definitely are right about that. So I think that's kind of our signature sound is the lead guitar. So Robbie Thunders, he's kind of like the main songwriter, I would say, of the band, and so he's the lead guitar player. So he kind of comes up with these ideas for songs that have very prominent like lead parts. And not really, I mean, they're not solos, but they're just like they're melodies. They're almost like vocal melodies that he writes on his guitar. I mean, he doesn't sing, but he writes like a lot of like very nice melodies on his guitar, and like they sort of are the driving force for a lot of the songs. So that's where that comes from, and like I mean, like I think like this band was his brainchild with Astro, so like that kind of like makes sense to like that style of guitar as part of the songwriting that you described. I think that's a little bit unique that we do it so much, you know, for like a lot of our songs. But I agree. I think Internalization is definitely like a darker album compared to Truth and Lies in terms of the sound. Yeah, Judgment Day is pretty thrashy. I think Sunshine is also a pretty thrashy song. You mentioned the singer having a deeper voice. That was actually a different singer than on the other song, Speech, on the same album. So the band had they had one singer who did some songs on some, who sang on some songs, and then they had someone else do a couple of the other ones. I think Judgment Day was one, and Sunshine was not Judgment Day. And no, it might have been Judgment Day. Sunshine, like, I think Travel Girl too. So yeah, that's why you have like some songs like higher voiced and like some songs lower. But the singing I thought was great on that whole album. Yeah, and the harmonies were great too. So yeah, it was a darker sort of tone. And we're sort of, you know, we do some dark stuff too, but I guess still, I like, but I think we're trying to like mix it up a little bit more. We're trying to like vary the tone a little bit. Some are, you know, a little bit pop oriented, and some are, are.
Sorry, that's what that's definitely what. If to me, like the first album was supposed to, like almost like you had a group of people, and they were trying to find out where they were going to go, type of thing, and each part of the member may have brought in a little bit of where they come from as far as music, because sometimes this is a bit of thrash metal. This is a bit of like, I could hear a little bit of Ozzy Osbourne in somewhere, and then somewhere was like quite punkish, the way the delivery of the vocals and that type of thing. And you also had the sort of grungy Nirvana influence, heavy influence across the band. Whereas I think with your latest album, it's a lot more lighter and brighter, as this less grungy in total. Again, because the vocalist is, because I remember, I won't say anything actually, because I want to say this when we review your song or whatever, which might be a good time, unless you want to say something else about that, what I just said, and then we'll get into reviewing your first song.
No, we can just hop right on and like check out the song, and
Okay then. We're going to go to your Spotify account and listen to Hold On. We'll listen to the whole track and then I'll review it after, and then you can tell me where I've gone badly wrong. Okay. first of all, I'd like to say congratulations on what is a brilliant song. I absolutely love that song. When I first listened to it, I thought, wow, this guy's voice is great. And then he went even further than I thought he would. I thought, oh, wow. But the pièce de résistance is the fact when you sing the chorus, the vocalist is on his own, then he's joined in this superb harmony. I just absolutely love that harmony. And then on almost the outro of the track, you've got this extra vocal in there again, peaking, and absolutely brilliant. And I tell you what this one reminds me of, and I don't know if you heard of this band. It's called A Day to Remember. Now they're a metalcore band, right? So they do the really harsh metalcore part, but when they break into like the choruses, they're very similar with the Americana type of harmonization, like, and maybe because I'm biased and because it's one of the modern sort of more modern type of music that I like listening to. That's why this song really sort of clicked. And I said, I know I'd asked you to give me a song. And then I listened to another couple of tracks, and I listened to this one. I said, no, I want to review this one because it really sort of resonates with me. And what a brilliant thing. So, who is the lead singer of this one?
So the singer was Andy Morrison. Unfortunately, he's no longer in the band, so we can't give him any more new tracks with his voice. But he was great while it lasted. I mean, he joined in 2000, at the end of 2020, and it really helped us put together Truth and Lies. And I had the lyrics, and he sang them. You know, he came up kind of with the melody, and like I helped him too at some parts. And actually, that chorus was a lot of his ideas. So I had meant that chorus to be much more sparse vocally than the way the way he did it on the album. So I think I only wanted like you know how it's kind of sung twice. You know, when all you know are lies, and it repeats that again.
That's right.
I only wanted him to sing it once and like really draw out all the vowels, so it would be like, I guess, you know, not as like so many words, but he wanted to do it that way. He wanted to do like a kind of like an emo. It reminded me of like something like something like an emo band could do, or like you mentioned like that new Handel sound. But yeah, I mean, like it worked out great. So like I think it sounds good, and I was happy with the results, and happy how he's singing. And yeah, I mean, you know, about Andy, I mean, like he was a very talented singer. I mean, he had a great range. He could do like the high notes as high as like Robert Plant, honestly. You know, so we were fortunate to have him in the band at that time.
So, who were the people harmonizing? Was that done like in the studio, or was that people in the band harmonizing with him?
It was all him. He did it all himself.
So that was done in the studio then, was it?
Yeah, it was all done in the studio. So he arranged all his. So he like put together all the vocal parts himself, and he came up with the harmonies, and yeah. So it was all him. So like, you know, he kind of, you know, like he like took the ball and ran with it, and so it came out great.
It did. It's a fantastic song. I have really enjoyed it. Like, so that's why I said like both albums, excellent production. So they were all done in studios. Do you want to give a shout out to the studio that you used? Or?
Okay, so actually they were not done in the studio.
No. Oh, that's surprising. That's very well done.
Yeah, we did that. We recorded them. We recorded the instruments, not the vocals, on GarageBand. Vocals were done. Andy did the vocals separately. I don't think he used a studio either. I'm not exactly sure where he did the recording. He kind of just said he was going to record them on this day, and we let him do it, and he just finished and gave us the tracks. I don't think he rented the studio either, but I'm not entirely sure. But we recorded everything drums, bass, guitars, garage bands. But I think the magic
Oh,
happened when we,
that's fantastic.
yeah, the magic really happened during the post-production. You know, with the mixing and the mastering, those two albums, Internalization and Truth and Lies, were done by Max Urzo. He's based in Honduras. Um, Brilliant at like mixing and mastering, and he also produces a lot of bands too. I think like we have to give him a lot of credit for the sound and the quality of the final product. You know, when all is said and done. But you know,
Yeah.
but it does go to show you that you can do a very good recording just using like software that.
I thought it was that good, and it was so. I mean, the tracks are so consistent as well. I just assumed it was a studio, like, because yeah, that would be a natural assumption to make. I think on the quality of the tracks, like.
Yeah, I mean, GarageBand has been good to us. I mean, we haven't ruled out doing it, doing work in the studio. We kind of, I mean, like it's easier for us to do GarageBand because if we have different schedules, then we can just do our parts separately. But we have talked about renting studio time and doing some recordings for the new songs coming up. So we might still do that, but so far GarageBand has worked out great for us.
Yeah. Can I ask you then now, like, you know, with the tracks where you no longer have the singers, how do you, because let's get into some of your, I mean, you've got 2 albums out. I believe you were in the Battle of the Bands. You've been on local TV, radio and live streams and everything. So can you talk a little bit about that? And also, how do you manage with the tracks that you no longer who sings over the, do you sing your own material, or do you have someone else sing those songs?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for like playing live, I've recently taken up the duties for singing. So, so you know, going forward, I mean, I'm going to be singing like those songs. I mean, you know, I have my own style, and I'll be honest, I can't like sing like as high as you know Andy can. But you know, I put my own efforts and my own style like to them, and so you know, we still perform a lot of those songs live as well. Yeah, so I mean, it's just the direction we're like going in, and it's like we're not going to stop playing those songs because it was done by somebody else and like start again from scratch. We're still gonna continue because a lot of those songs are good, and it'd be kind of a waste to never play them again. But
and your fans would want to listen to some of your old tracks as well when you perform live.
Yeah, I mean, the old tracks. I mean, people like. I think like "Leap of Faith" is something people like a lot. That's a track. I think like it's not the. It's actually I'm not sure. Like I forget. I think it's track 4 on the album. Is "Leap of Faith," and "Second Chances" is one that's quite popular. And that we play a lot too. "For Your Soul" is also very popular. You know, so yeah. I mean, like those songs. Are still good in our book, and we still play them. So
cool. Can you tell me? Sorry, I asked you about 5 things in one or whatever. So, Battle of the Bands, I noticed looking on your Spotify page. So, if you want to listen to any of these tracks afterwards, go to Spotify, look for Astrogun, or I split them up. I put Astrogun and I couldn't find it. It's all just one word.
yeah, it's something. Well, I mean, like it can be a little confusing. It's usually spelled as one word, but sometimes it's 2. I think on the Truth and Lies album cover, it's 2 words. So, but I think if you want to search for it, it's one word, Astrogun.
Just to say, however, that after the show is over, we'll have all the links. You'll have my link, who I am, and on my YouTube page, and you'll also have the main guest, the man of the moment. You'll have the Astrogun YouTube page, the Spotify page. We'll have all the links so you can have a listen at your own leisure after this interview. So, Yeah, Battle of the Bands. We got to have a quick chat about that before we do the second track. What was that all about? And did you enjoy yourself?
Okay, so another thing I should point out, I was not in that Battle of the Bands, so that it also predated in the
But
band.
it's a claim to fame for the band in this, so I had to bring it up.
I think that was one of the finalists for that contest, and yeah, I mean, I think there, you know, Astro and Rob talk about that that time a lot, so they were, you know, that was something that was sort of like their claim to fame, but um, there's not too much more I can really say about that. I think for the next time we do an interview, we'll have the whole band here, and then you can add some.
That's exactly like we have a brief discussions with them before, and I said that if this went well, I'd love to have the Yule band on them.
Yes.
That would be fun for me as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I already told them about it. So I think the next time we'll set something up, and you'll hear the interview of Astrogun Part 2, and it'll be everybody. So you'll hear all the voices, and you know, I don't have to like speak for everybody. So
You say that you going forward that you'll be singing. So what's it like moving from sort of almost like backstage to front stage as you're going to be the lead singer, the person that people are going to look at? Are you going to be you?
yeah, it was kind of terrifying at first. I didn't, you know, it was a long story of how that happened. I mean, I think Rob was adamant about me doing it for a long time, and I had pushed back on that idea a lot. I mean, because you know, he said, like you write the lyrics, you know, like you have a lot of passion for this, you know, why don't you just do it? And I was just like, nah, I can't, man. Like I can't sing. I'm like, I'm not a singer. He's like, well, you can just practice. Like, you can try, just try, just try to do it. And like, he kept like pushing me. You know, the more I thought about it, the more I was running out of excuses to like why I shouldn't do it. And then, you know, at the time, maybe Astro was like also a little on the fence too, but um, it really just came down to, you know, who believes in this band, and it was like you know, like who like wants to see it go forward, because we interviewed a lot of people. We had demos of singers, and we had people come in and sing, and they had like great voices, but there was something off. Like there wasn't that personal connection, like musically, or there wasn't that I don't know. It's something like when you're in a band, it's that you have to have like some kind of like, I guess it's
Buy-in.
like you guys are on the same wavelength, and it's something that's like unspoken, like you just kind of know it. And we never really felt that. Once Andy left, I mean, Andy kind of, we thought we would have that with Andy. I mean, for a while, I think he did, and then he left, and then, you know, that was that. And then after that, we really couldn't find anybody who we connected with. You know, we had some people, you know, they had a nice voice, but I just got the sense that they weren't really like, we weren't gelling well. And so that was kind of like, I guess, how it came to be that I would do it, because, you know, like, I mean, like musically, I connect very well with Astro and Rob and Imric. And so although, you know, this is like I mean, like I have experience singing before, but I don't have experience really singing like in a band. But, you know, but like you said, sometimes you just gotta try. And like, if you believe in yourself, and if you believe in the music that you're doing, then it's gonna work. You know, like because it's just something like you're meant to do. It doesn't matter how much technical background you have. You know, like if you want to like work at something, and if you want to like try to do something, you know, like you'll figure it out, and it's gonna be great, because like your soul is 100% behind it. You know, so that's how that came to be. And yeah, so I guess we'll see how, you know, and we have the new album coming out. That'll be out in a couple of months, and that'll be me singing. And so probably the next time we have this interview, you'll get to hear my voice, and we can talk about that. And so, you know, that's good. The secret will be, It'll all be people here, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Sorry, I did have a thought, but I lost it. Right, let's have a look. So this will be the first time. Sorry, this will be the first time that I'm listening to the next track. So this will be like a. So again, I'll play the song all the way through, and then comment on it after. So this one's called "Down in the Alley."
So close, yet so behind.
Okay, we're back after Down in the Alley. That was the first time I ever heard that. First of all, I'd like to go to the actual video. I really enjoyed that. It's very arty, very cool. There seemed to be a bit of a story behind it. I like the bit where he finally turns up to the set in the end.
Yeah.
I don't think you're all scared. You're just angry that he didn't get there at the start of the video. That's why you're chasing him around.
So I guess the sort of it came from a fact that we actually did not have Andy, who sang on the record, for that video because he had already left the band, and so we were kind of like, what do we do here? Like, can we even make a video without a lead singer? You know, that's kind of strange. Like, I don't want to do it because I didn't really sing the actual, like, it's not my sound recording. So we came up with the concept to do sort of a mystery singer, like create this character who is kind of, you know, dark and mysterious. You can't really see his face, and he may or may not be part of reality. He's kind of scary and frightening, and in the end, I guess he proves to kind of be an evil presence because he kind of plays these mind games, like with the band, right? And so that was kind of the concept of the video, was sort of this idea of a mystery singer who sort of haunts and terrorizes the band. And, you know, there's a lot of like dark imagery and a lot of, you know, shadows and not knowing like what's part of reality and what is. So that was sort of the concept. It sort of feeds into the truth, the whole like truth and lies concept. That was the
I was just going to say, the person who seemed to have the most fun on that one was the drummer. Like, he just really seemed to be getting into it, especially, I don't know, like he was running down the corridor and then later he smashed the guitar. He seemed to really be getting into the role.
Yeah, you know, we had that guitar was found in an old practice space months before we shot the video, and Asher said, "I'm going to use this in the video, and I'm going to smash it." I'm like, "Oh."
That's rock and roll.
Yeah, he had that premeditated buildup of anger that he was going to smash it in a video. Just waiting. So he finally like got it for the Down the Alley video. So yes, that was a real guitar, and that was really a smash completely to smithereens. You know, it was a one take sort of thing, and it was captured great. So yeah, that was that. I will say that it was filmed, produced and directed by BG Aramayo. He's based in New York, so if there's anybody in New York who has some filmmaking needs for their video, you can reach out to me, and I'll refer you to him. And yeah, so that was that.
Well, if you like or whatever, we can include his link in the description after this as well. So we've come to the end of the session now. So I was just, you've got any type of future events coming up that you want to talk about?
Yeah, we plan on doing a lot of shows in the summer, so we're still talking to booking agents and like waiting to hear back on some venues. We have one officially booked for PJ's Restaurant in Baldwin Place in New York. So it's like on the border of like Dutchess County, Westchester, sort of. So that's in September. We will let everyone know when the time gets closer, you know, like when, where and when we're going to be playing. So I'll definitely be posting flyers on our Facebook page. And also if you're the Music Makers and Listeners Corner, I'll be posting it there as well. So if you're in New York, you'll definitely hear about it. And if you feel so inclined to drive from out of state and come see us, that would be fantastic too. but you probably won't. But that's okay. So a lot of stuff. Nothing. Only one place booked so far, but we will be booking a lot more in the upcoming weeks, and we'll let you know. And the other thing is also be aware that I mentioned this before. There will be a third LP, our third album, also released in the summer. So we're kind of coordinating, the release of the album with shows to promote it. So as I said earlier too, I'll be singing on that one, and so you'll get to hear my voice for the first time on a rock album, and it'll be great. We have almost all the songs mixed and mastered. I think the last song is getting mixed and mastered right now as we speak. It already sounds great. It's done again by it's produced again by Astrogun, and it still sounds fantastic. Just as good or even better than the previous two albums. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think you'll all be blown away by it.
I think we're all looking for it. I think you've got a lot of fans on the Facebook page or whatever. When I said to John Ballistic that I was going to be interviewing him, he got a little bit jealous. So I'm glad I got there first. Yeah, he said he enjoys this. So I think you're all fans will be looking forward to that third album or whatever, and lots of people will be wanting to see you live or whatever, because I think it's the type of music that really lends itself to high energy type of music, something go out and have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to it just as much as everyone else. So stay tuned.
Okay, then that wraps up the show, and I've really enjoyed myself here. This is another episode of Corner Talk with me, Darmin De'flern, and Adam from Astrogun. So goodbye from me.
Bye, Darren. Thank you.
Thank you very much. See you next time. See you soon.
It's time for